everybody, I'm Wildman Wes.
And I'm DJC.
And welcome back to another episode of Shocktoberfest 2019 Abridged. Today we've got another one that's very near and dear to our hearts. The 2004 satire parody, Shaun of the Dead. Oh, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost can do no wrong. They really can't. Well, maybe later on. Yeah.
Maybe Paul. I guess Paul wasn't that bad.
Paul was all right, but this one is like the definitive, like that started the craze, really.
Yeah.
So this movie is pretty much like a parody of like Dawn of the Dead, to a degree.
And it actually came out. I think it came out right around the same time as the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in this movie, there's a man named Shaun who is pretty much he's a little bit of a loser, I would say. Kind of, you know, 29 years old, not really knowing where he's going in life, working at an electronics store. He has a friend that lives with him and his roommate named Ed, who's pretty much a pot dealer, no job, sits around, plays video games. Kind of reminds me of a lot of people I know, but regardless. They start noticing some weird disturbances around town. People are dropping like flies and coming back from the dead. At first, they don't think too much of it. They think it's just some sort of, people just being weird, but then you realize, a bunch of zombies. All hell breaks loose, and during this time, Shaun's girlfriend Liz breaks up with him, and he's trying to get back together with her, trying to spend time with his mom and his stepfather, and find out that the stepfather gets bitten, and eventually he turns, and then they all conglomerate to the Winchester pub, where they all hang out, and pretty much fight the zombies from there. Throughout this whole situation, other friends come up, there's a lot of hostility, pretty much the same type of tropes in any horror movie where somebody will do something stupid and then the demons or zombies or killer will take over. And eventually they get the upper hand. Unfortunately, Ed gets bitten in the process. Liz and Shaun do end up surviving, and they keep Ed as a zombie pet in the end. Shaun of the Dead in a nutshell.
Pretty much.
So now we're going to talk about what we like and what we don't like, and then give the movie a basic grade. So, Danny, we're going to start off with you.
Well, what I liked was that, it was supposed to be a satire movie, but they got a lot of things really good and a lot of things really right with some of the zombie aspects and stuff like that. I'm happy that they weren't really running zombies. They were kind of slow, like Walking Dead. They did do a lot of good character development with, especially the two main characters. But yeah, I mean, the whole movie just in itself was great. I can watch it all the time.
Yeah.
So, great movie. I really don't have that many things bad to say about it, because even if you want to talk about anything that, that wouldn't happen with all these zombies, but you're like, okay, well, this isn't a real zombie movie, so
it's a spoof.
It's a spoof, so you can't like really criticize any of that stuff. So, but I think one thing, even though it was, meant to be the spoof movie, they really did tug at the heartstrings with some of the character deaths and stuff like that. So I they got a lot right for me in this movie. So.
I mean, I agree with you on that one. I do love the comedic spoofs, like with your traditional zombie films. I mean, they even make references. I mean, at one point, when Shaun is going to get his mom's name is Barbara, and at one point they yell, "They're coming to get you, Barbara," which is a nod to the original 1968 Night of the Living Dead. And even when when the word zombie is brought up, they say, "Don't say the Z word." I mean, that's kind of funny. I think that's hilarious.
Well, even though Walking Dead obviously came after this, the show, they don't say zombies in that series at all.
No,
they call them walkers. So, I don't know.
And another thing I also liked, which now with the new Zombieland Double Tap coming out, in Shaun of the Dead, there actually is the counterbalance characters. There's a moment where Shaun's friend Yvonne comes and meets him when they're trying to escape the zombies, and there's the same amount of characters, and they're basically the counterbalance to the other characters like Liz, and then her two friends, Diane and David, and as well as Ed, and then the mother Barbara. And I think that's kind of cool. And the fact that Zombieland Double Tap is doing that as well, it's kind of funny because and some people might go, oh well, Zombieland is ripping that off. Not really, because these movies are a spoof. I mean, you're gonna have that. I mean, you see those kind of counterbalances in any comedy movie. Yeah. Well, so I like that though.
And actually, in even though it's not a scary movie, in the Fast and Furious 6, there was a team of with Brian and Vin Diesel. Where they all come together and they go against another team, and it's the same thing. It's it's almost them, but in different different bodies, I guess. And they actually point that out in that movie too. So I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, and plus going back on those like spoofing the tropes of zombie films. They always say don't make too much noise, don't. And then when they get to the Winchester, and then all of a sudden Ed being a decides he's going to play the slot machine, and then all of a sudden the power hits back on, and all of a sudden this "Don't Stop Me Down" by Queen plays on the jukebox when all hell breaks loose. Right. I laugh on that every time. So that's pretty much kind of the basics of what I like, and now we're going to go on to things that we don't like. I mean, to be honest, there really isn't anything that I don't like about this. But I mean, certain characters, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Like the roommate Pete being. I mean, he's that stereotypical just. Just like that, well, not just a type, just the stick up, where he's just everything that he doesn't like, he'll verbally just rip you a new one if he doesn't like it. And then, of course, there's a character of David, Diane's boyfriend, that they're friends with Liz, who breaks up with Shaun at some point in the film. And it's almost as if you find out later he had feelings for Liz, but since he pretty much was friend-zoned, he started dating Diane just to stay close. But at the same time, that's when before you realize that, you kind of get this idea that you think at first he's only bashing Shaun just because he's a friend, but then you find out more into it. But still, he's just
because they went to college together.
But David just a prick, and plus how he goes out was the stupidest idea. He decides he's gonna leave the Winchester, and he gets basically ripped apart, a la. Captain Rhodes in the 1985 Day of the Dead. That was beautiful though.
That was the best death, I think, in there.
Yeah, it was. It not if not the best, the most satisfying.
Yeah, I think so. Well, so a couple of things that I guess I could say that I kind of didn't like. Like I said, it's really hard to not like some about it if it's a spoof, but like. So when the stepdad was dead in the car, or was turned into a zombie in the car, I would have killed him and pulled him out of the car and took off in the car. I mean, you got all these other zombies walking around. There's only one you have to take care of when you got your car back to go keep on driving.
I got you.
So I think that also, if they knew that there was that cellar this whole time, why didn't they go in the cellar right when the windows first started getting busted?
I get you on that, and I can agree with you on that. The other thing that I can also kind of interject on that is that in spoof movies, especially with horror movies, everybody in the horror community, if not film community, they would always say in a sense of like intense struggle or frantic action, we always look back in retrospect of 2020. It's like, well, I would have done this, I would have done that, but at the same time, I also think maybe with the spoof, they did that on purpose. So then, we all say that. Yeah. But because even like let's say if Simon Pegg and Nick Frost were watching a movie, and they same situation, they'd probably say the same thing we are. But then it's that kind of willing suspension of disbelief. Yeah. But I can agree with you though. I mean, sometimes you kind of go, no. But yeah, I get you on that one.
So let's give it a grade.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, apart from some of the characters, when you realize what they are, I mean, it's an all around great movie. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a solid A.
I was gonna give it an A, but when they threw that sad A record, I think that kind of made it go down. But now I'm gonna give it an A, definitely.
All right, so you named this A. All right, fair enough, man. Wow. So now we got 2 in the books and 2 more to go for this. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you like, share, and as always, push the red button. And don't forget to ring that bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes.
And I'm DJC.
And we will see you next time for our third installment of Shocktoberfest 2019 Abridged. See you soon. Hey! Wait a minute! Okay, so we promised 4 episodes this year for Shocktoberfest 2019 Abridged, and we failed. Time constraints, scheduling, it sucks. We are very sorry for that. But in the act of fairness and in good faith, Hefe and I are going to do a parody song of Turkey in the Straw to give some spoiler alerts for next year's possible season. But if there's any movies you'd like to see on next year's schedule, leave a request in that comment section below. We'll make sure we put those in. Until then, we hope you enjoy the song. Ready, Hefe?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Good old Leatherface was hacking in, Jack Show's paper and cracking tomatoes, even ate up Ohio. Salem was on some vamps were biting, Bubba, Ho-Tep versus fighting, and in Carrie we had some things blood flow. Landis put a wolf in London, Isaac filled the corn with children, and we really hope that Hollywood will bring the Sanderson sisters back again.
Karloff was in Egypt and blessedly cozy for his prose. There were 2 troll movies, we don't talk about those. Al Pacino was the devil walking sportsman, he did rebel say Beetlejuice 3 times, you know how that goes. Karen Black was chased down by a tiki doll. The Phantom played the organ in the theater hall, and with anime we'll give you 2 little doses with Wicked City and Vampire Force.
Devil's Candy's about Peyton, Poltergeist, the mom was Peyton. Vincent Price was host of the old Hell House. So when freaks are one of us, Chucky really loves to cuss. And the Texas Scott, even with his cheating ass spouse.
Tall man really loved the same boy. Human Centipede was a godforsaken toy. And no, it says that Sid Haig is gone. He'll always bring us some tutti frutti joy.
I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun. Well, we hope you enjoyed what we gave you this year. And I think Hefe is. He's enjoying himself after that. On behalf of everyone at Dragonfire Entertainment, I'm Wildman Wes.
I'm Hefe.
We hope you have a safe and happy Halloween. In Illinois right now, it is snowing. So Santa's really, as Hefe said, bumping his ass into the season. So, yeah. Other than that, y'all take care.